Hey, fearless followers, it's Josh here with your word of the day. Philippians 2:23 and 24. Paul says that he wants to send Timothy to the church in Philippi, and then he says this interesting thing. He says, and I hope and I believe too that I will soon come to see you as well, that I will also come to see you. And if you've been following along, Paul goes back and forth. He doesn't really know what his outcome's going to be. He doesn't know if he's going to be in prison for a long while now. He doesn't know if his death is going to come soon. We of course know that he died years later, but he never made it out of prison. He just kind of stayed in this perpetual state of house arrest in different areas, and yet he says to the church in Philippi, I believe that I will come. I will come as well. I hope that I will come to see you as well. And he has this unwavering belief that God will vindicate him. He has this unwavering belief that God will be the one to rescue him and take him out of these circumstances. And yet at the same time, he, in just verses above, is super sober-minded about the reality that at any time, he could lose his life. And so he holds in tension his belief that God will rescue him and the reality of his circumstances. And I think we live in a society that says you can have hope or you can have despair, but you can't have both at the same time. You can be real about one situation, but then if you're too positive, then you kind of have a Pollyanna attitude, and that's not helpful. And I think what we see from Paul in this is that you know what, you can look at a situation and say this is not ideal, this is not fun, this isn't great, and yet at the same time, and I believe that God will do something out of this. I believe that God will rescue me from this, and I think that's fair about the coronavirus. I think that's fair about our world right now. We've got a lot that we can look at and say, I just don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know what this is going to look like. This isn't fun. And yet we can still hold to hope and say, even in the midst of this situation, God's working, and God will bring us through this. We can hold on to that. Ridgepoint, I just want to say specifically to you, I don't know what you're going through today, but God's going to bring you through it. He will. He's faithful. And we can hold on to that and acknowledge it's not great and we don't really know what it's going to look like. But that was encouraging to me today as I read Paul's notes and focused on the word of the day. So there's my thoughts. Love to know yours. Send me a text. What are you thinking about today? What are you praying about today? How can we pray for you? We love you. Can't wait to see you again. Peace.